Oh shit! The lag is still here even though I'm connected to Wi-Fi. That's gonna make tonight really gay. That's a good, like, almost a full second of lag. I get to chat with lag, but if I start out with this lag, does that mean that my entire stream is gonna suck? I've never seen this before. That's why I'm so curious. Yeah, so it's a variable lag between about half a second and 3/4 of a second. That could get quite annoying. Uh-oh. Alright, I guess while I'm waiting for people to come on, I'm gonna do some Owen Benjamin, because obviously that's awesome. Yeah, I think this is when I was on. And I was about 151.
Bin Laden a Muslim burial at sea. Not one person in the entire right wing of America asked a Muslim if that's true. Do you think Muslims get buried at sea?
That's too funny. In the comments, that's a rant I need to listen to wholesale. But what's going on with this lag? I might not even do a stream. This is ridiculous. I wonder what's causing this. I've never had this problem before. I don't know. I guess we'll just roll with it.
Desert-dwelling Bedouins. Who the fuck believes that? You're like, oh, fucking Osama bin Laden. You fucking a secret Muslim for giving bin Laden such a honorable Muslim death at sea. Show me in the Quran or in a hadith where it says to take a body about 20 miles out and anonymously dump them into the ocean. You think that exists? Does no one look into anything? It's like, well, they said it's a fucking chance. There's a book right there. You think Barack Obama gave bin Laden a good Muslim burial? At sea? They're desert Vikings, exactly, Hand-Drawn Bear.
Desert Vikings! I fucking love it!
The desert, you know that they live in the desert for hundreds and hundreds of years, but every time that someone dies, they have to build a giant boat and go fucking drop it into the ocean to show reverence to their God. Oh my God, it's so fucking insane. John, he replaced her as he is. I can't do it. I cannot do that again today. Oh, I have to.
Aaron Siggy, welcome, brother, man. So, normally what we have is a 30-second delay-ish, between 20 and 30 seconds, between the, like when you type something and hit enter to when I can see it. And normally there's no lag in the video. But what I've already noticed is that there's between a 1/4 second and 3/4 of a second lag. Trainer Bear, welcome. It's kind of bothering me. I'm being a little bit OCD about it.
Oh no, Crump's got the corona.
So, do you see the lag in my video and shit? Is that interrupting the audio and fucking shit up?
Not interrupted. Why do you think there's lag? Is your internet weird, or are they grappling you?
I honestly don't even know. Like, this is the first time my video has ever been like significantly lagged at this
You're
like
step
level. Like the first 2 minutes.
you're
What's
stepping on
up?
Grappler territory because you have a nightly late show.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I didn't even think about that, but you're kind
Dude,
of
I
really
mean,
right.
it's like it's something because it's like every night it's like 7:30 or something. I look up the clock. I'm like, oh, JapJap Bear's gonna be coming at 8 o'clock. It's like there's always something to do. I might not be in there every night. I might check in some nights. I might be in the chat some nights. But to know that you're there and you're crushing it consistently, the grapplers know that that's how you control media.
Well, honestly, what I really love most about Late Night with JapJap so far is the couple of nights where I just like for whatever reason I drop the ball and I'm not there. I have tons of bears telling me, "Yo, like this guy, this other bear, like they all tried to fill your shoes. We upheld the spirit of Late Night with Jab Jab." And I find that so
Well,
endearing.
it's true, and the thing is, it's like I think my wife told me today that my streams are boring, and she just said, of course they're boring to her. But the thing is, it's like even if my streams are boring, which I don't think they are, of course, but it's not about the host anyway. It's about the chat. It's about the interaction.
Well, yeah, it's firstly about the chat, the interaction, the audience, and then like after that, obviously you want to be having a good time. And so if person XYZ doesn't particularly find your stream interesting, it's not a big deal. Just don't interact with the stream. That's it.
I want to hear your Trump conspiracy theories. I mean,
All right, so I heard I've not collaborated or done any research on any of this. All I heard was that Trump got the corona, and then I saw on an Instagram post, just a singular post, that and to be fair though, I don't get on Instagram that often, like super often. Um, so the Instagram post said that Trump got the corona 33 days before the election.
and
So red flag number
on a
one.
full moon.
Ooh, that's even better. So have you read BB's prediction
Yes.
concerning Trump with
Yes.
corona? So I had like the second I heard that, I was like, so my hypothesis or slash prediction was not nearly as in depth as Big Bear's. Plane runner, welcome, welcome. But
Right.
literally the second I heard that Trump and Melania got corona, I was like, no fucking way. Trump is totally gonna play the victim card and turn this against the Democrats. And then, like that basic idea, Owen really fleshed out in a really specific way. So I really hope he's right.
I made my prediction on Facebook. I have a return to Facebook because I haven't gone on a while, but lately I've been posting some Facebook posts, which is hilarious because no one likes me on Facebook, but I still go for it anyways. My prediction is completely different than that. My
Ooh.
prediction is he's using this he's going to say that the vaccine saved him. And not hydroxychloroquine like Owen said. And because Trump's been talking about the vaccine, like we're going to get the vaccine out as soon as possible and blah, blah, blah. So I think, and he's been saying the beginning of November for the last 6 months. So they're probably like, all right, vaccine's ready. Trump's like, all right, it's my time. About to get me some corona. And then, the vaccine saved me. Vaccine saved my life, everybody. You guys all need to get this vaccine. I was ready to die. And they pumped me with the vaccine, and I rose like a Frankenstein. Or
So making the assumption Ward Bear and Alabama Bear, welcome. Sorry, I was thinking because Trainer Bear was giving
My
me some
favorite thing is
gravy.
when I say
So are
something
you
and your head goes like this. That usually means that gravy is being downloaded.
Well, I'm trying to take in everything you're saying and also apply all of my knowledge and like filters to it. So it's like, how can I best give Trainer Bear more
Right.
knowledge? And so what I was thinking is, so let's say hypothetically the move for Trunk getting the coronavirus is to promote the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the media lies. So, but and the media has been saying that like, oh, there's no way you can get the vaccine pushed out like en masse until summer of next year, and Trump has been saying like December. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm hearing is Trunk has promised the vaccine by December, so he gets it early October, gets cured by November, and then he like solves the solution a month ahead of schedule, and then he
The
looks
next full
better
moons on October. The next
to the
full
north.
moons on October 31st.
Oh shit! That brings in so many other
All
calculations,
those Eve
bro.
in the house. My birthday.
Soren, yeah. Damn. Wait, your birthday's on
Yeah.
Halloween?
I was born for this prediction. What is Plane Runner's smart guy? Let's see.
Trainer Bear's only purpose in life was to tell JapJap Bear about this one connection. Everything else he has done has no meaning. It's this one prediction that matters.
Plane Runner's a smart guy. My two predictions: HCQ, which is Hillary Clinton, is Q. Marketing campaign, COVID survivor, or he dies. That's something I was playing in too. He dies and heads over the ice wall and hangs out with his boy Epstein, and freaks out the entire world, making vaccine look necessary. I think I was thinking that as well.
All right, so let's do a little bit of game theory. If God Emperor Trunk Orange Man dies and Pence takes over, oh wait, no, this is about to be an
Right.
election. That would fuck everything up.
Maybe they bring in the Antichrist as the savior, as the Republican candidate.
Well, see, I thought similar thoughts for a while, but the reason why I don't think the Antichrist is going to come anytime soon, as of right now, is because there's too much potential balkanization, too much economic instability within the vast majority of like the EU, America, Brazil, Russia, China, like all the like India, Pakistan, like all the large countries, like on the edge of balkanization. So yes, I'm completely aware there is a very legitimate biblical argument where because the red heifer was just born 2 years ago, it's the first time a red heifer has been born in hundreds of years, and the red heifer is a requirement to specifically sanctify the temple according to Old Testament law. Like I understand that, but that being said, I don't think we have the proper political scenario for a worldwide unification in the way that Revelation describes.
Dude, whoever the Antichrist, I heard something about some guy named King John or something. But like, if this dude comes out and is like, "All right, everybody, we're gonna start a new world currency. It's gonna be cryptocurrency, and the good news is everyone's debt is gonna be forgiven." And then he'll be hailed as like a savior of sorts. And the only thing is, if they do that, and there's people that have $500,000, $1 million, whatever, in the bank or in stocks or whatever, and it all disappears, I mean, that would make for quite a violent protest. But if they can somehow clear everybody's debts and keep everybody's cash the same, and all they have to do is get a vaccine, that could set some interesting things up.
I hadn't considered that. So the perspective I was coming from was a Lair Bear, welcome,
Lair Bear,
welcome.
I haven't seen
The
a
perspective
Lair
I was
Bear in a
coming
minute.
from, dude, she's been here like
Oh,
every
really?
night. Yeah. All right, so your perspective is vastly interesting because I was coming from the perspective that this balkanization would prevent the like realm-wide, global, whatever unification. But if you take the alternate perspective, and that this balkanization is going to create such a large amount of instability in conjunction with the vast amount of debt that's pretty much like worldwide, global, realm-wide, whatever. You're right. Some sort of cryptocurrency that is insanely centralized with the promise of debt forgiveness if you take the chip or if you take, like, if you submit yourself. I'm dog sitting right now, so those are my best friend dogs. Yeah, those are my two best friends. One of my best friends. He's got two dogs, and I'm dog sitting for the weekend. Rocky, Nina, come here, guys. Hey, good boy, Rocky. Good boy. That didn't help. And so that if that balkanization occurs, it increases the instability to the point in which that people literally beg for some sort of fiscal unification / satanic jubilee period. That would very quickly bring in the one world government. And once the fiscal system is established, which would take 2 or 3 years tops, then you're right. We could probably see revelation coming through in the next decade or so. That's something I hadn't considered.
So here's the other
Interesting.
thing too. Like I said, for some reason, all of a sudden, it's like I'm posting on Facebook and I'm saying stuff. Owen got involved in political commentary. I would imagine that this is happening whereas a lot of us we've sort of withdrawn from trying to red pill the masses, seems to have this thing in our spirit that to make us want to do that again. And we were doing.
Well, it's pride. It's pride. So the reason why I can concretely say this is pride, even in the most humble individual, is because the sinful desires or temptations come from a godly blessing. So like the godly blessing of sex within the covenant of marriage is a wonderful, God-honoring thing. However, the satanic corruption version of that is lust. And so that kind of perspective applies to all God-honoring emotions, blessings that we have, which affect literally every aspect of our lives.
So you're saying some sort of virtuous form of pride?
Yeah, so it's pride because we have, like, whenever God blesses us with more knowledge, more wisdom, whatever, there's the natural God-given desire to share that knowledge, to allow our cup to be overflowing. It's a baby! And so that natural God-given desire to allow our cup to overfloweth, if we allow our cup to overflow or to share knowledge with someone who is not yet prepared for the blessings of knowledge that God has given us, like, blessings in the wrong seasons can be burdens. And so if God gives us a blessing of knowledge and we lack the discernment or are unwilling to unwilling to submit ourselves in humbleness to God to seek the discernment, then there's a increasing likelihood of us with a good desire to share knowledge, but because we didn't seek God on the discernment, we share knowledge in an improper setting, and that ends up becoming a burden to whoever we're sharing the knowledge with.
Right. Exactly. For sure. It's definitely a burden to them, and then it becomes a burden to us. And so we just say, like, forget about it. But then now, and I wasn't going the pride route, but I definitely align with what you're saying for sure. I was thinking, it's more like in our spirit to warn, like back in March, they're like, okay, everybody, 3 weeks until we flatten the curve, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, this is what they've been waiting for. They're not going to take 3 weeks. This is going to go a long time. And we start like firing off warning shots everywhere. And
Andy, Adam, welcome. So the reason why I say it's a pride thing is because look at the Old Testament, like King David versus King Saul. King Saul, Donald, welcome. King Saul messed up because remember that one battle where King Saul was impatient, and so he attempted to seek God without the prophet. And then once the prophet, I forget his name, but once the prophet got there, he was like, King Saul, what did you do? You just screwed yourself. And then the complete opposite of that was King David, where the bear community has definitely made fun of King David a lot in the past couple of months. But the Bible, as much as King David fucked up, the Bible says King David was a man after God's own heart. And one of the biggest patterns of King David was whenever shit went down, he would seek the guidance of the Lord. Nehemiah is another even better example because he didn't fuck up nearly as much as David did. Like Nehemiah, every single time Nehemiah was presented with an issue, the first thing the Bible says is Nehemiah got onto his knees and prayed. And so that's why I say it's a pride issue, because
whoa, hold on. That was weird. And a model. Yeah. My baby hit a button. So what was it? The last thing you said there?
Well, so that's why I say it's a pride issue for us. It's because like Nehemiah, King David, King Solomon, King Saul, all these guys are literally mentioned in the Bible. And so, like, obviously don't worship them, but like they're on like next level kind of thing. Like not necessarily next level, but they're specifically mentioned for a specific lesson. And so in learning that lesson and embodying that lesson, and when we compare and contrast the various biblical characters and how they responded to stressful events and whether or not they submitted themselves to God, the ones that submitted themselves to God, the more they did that, the more they saw success in their lives, the more they saw God allowing them to honor him more through their actions and through the opportunities he gave them. And so the reason why I'm so specific with that is because when God gives us the opportunity to bless others through knowledge, because he blesses us with knowledge, then we have to apply discernment and pray to the Lord. And it's like, oh, I don't want to just share this knowledge with everybody, because if I share it with everybody, not everybody is ready to receive that knowledge. And so it's like, even if I'm in an organic conversation and I feel like, oh, this would be something really great to share with this person, I've learned to, before I share things, I do my best to pray to the Lord. God, please give me the words to say. Please give me the discernment so that I don't share too much, and like let me be wise in the words that you allow me to use. Like some sort of like that kind of prayer. And I find that when I do that, I don't offend people, but I share whatever like knowledge that they're able to accept. And I find that when I don't do that, I get really excited. Like I feel that I'm just getting super excited, but in reality, I'm just being really prideful and like, blah, 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 share all the knowledge. And then I offend people and they don't receive the blessings that they could have received had I been more humble and asked God what I should have shared before I just opened my mouth and spouted babble.
You just convicted me there. I was trying to disregard what you were saying because it sounded really religious. You're saying a bunch of A bunch of Churchonian words there, like God after God's heart, and you know,
But dude, it fucking makes
pray to
sense, right?
God to everything I say and all that stuff. But then you're like, when I step back and I'm like, yeah, I guess there is. The attitude when I share the stuff is kind of like, it's almost like shoving it in their face, like, um,
Yeah. Dude, I do that all the time. And I've learned, like, through painful experiences, I've learned that's the wrong fucking thing
yeah,
to
I should
do.
go on Facebook and delete all my posts. Um,
At least you're still allowed on Facebook, bro.
yeah, I don't make a lot of anti-Semitic comments on Facebook or any. That's usually what gets you kicked off. Like, that's what
No,
gets you kicked off platforms.
dude, my entire family got doxxed because I said the word nigger.
Oh, did they kick you off Facebook for that?
Yeah.
You haven't done that either. Um,
It's
I respect your courage.
not courage, it's just being truthful and not being a bitch.
Well, I respect you not being a bitch then. I still get
Much.
clients from Facebook, so I try to keep it somewhat. I definitely
Oh,
challenge the acceptabilities, but
well, yeah, dude, if you're making money and like you've got business contacts on Facebook, yes, censor yourself to whatever degree you feel comfortable because like losing that business if like you haven't already prepared your family, that's just
right.
irresponsible.
That's why I got my private bear Instagram, which is my favorite
So,
place.
funny story today. I remember all those signs that I showed you yesterday that I made?
Yeah,
So, I delivered them to the office today, and then we went canvassing, so just like knocking on doors, and like there's like this little phone app with a survey and shit, and my I guess my quote unquote boss or whatever was like just kind of giving me tips and like just teaching me how to do this shit, and the third or fourth house we came to, it was this really, really old dude. Like his beard was twice as big as mine. His hair was like just past like between his nipples and his like shoulders. And like it was just like wild and out. And he was just leaning against this chain link fence. And we were in like agricultural land. So like there's goats and horses and cows everywhere and shit. And so it's like it was really dope. But as we get up to this house, there's this old dude just chilling, and he looks like makes eye contact with me. He's like, "Are you a Jew?" And I just looked at him and was like, "No, sir. What's going on? How are
you
you doing
immediately
today?"
knew that
Because
this would be a
like
good conversation.
according, well, dude, I thought it was hilarious because so the my quote unquote boss or whatever, his name is Justin. He's a legitimate sodomite Republican conservative. And so like he's like trying to teach me how to do this shit, and according to the app on my phone, we weren't even supposed to stop at this dude's house, but he was just standing in front of his yard, like on the edge of his fence, on the edge of the road, and like because we're just trying to like make a good impression and spread the word of the local mayor and like various other like political dudes and dudettes that are like doing shit. um like we're just like, all right, random dude, let's engage and see what happens. And so like the first thing he's like, are you a Jew? And so this sodomite next to me who's training me how to do this, it just feels all sorts of uncomfortable. And I'm like, my natural reaction is to fight the urge to laugh. And so I just start engaging him and just like making jokes, and like it was glorious.
What was there any like? Was there any gravy?
No gravy. Like, and honestly, I don't know whether or not he loves Jews or hates Jews. Like, the way he was responding to questions was like borderline sovereign
Oh,
citizen.
okay, makes sense.
Because, like, think about it. Like, before I even said anything, he asked me, "Are you a Jew?" And because I knew my boss, a quote unquote boss, like didn't like understand these things, I couldn't be like, suppose you say I am a Jew, what would be your response? That dude, like Justin, would think I'm crazy. So I just have to be like, no, man, like what's going on, and like just engage in a different way, and it was interesting.
So back to like I think it's interesting talking about this our conspiracy theories with the trunk thing and all that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, so there's something in the spirit proclaiming the truth to the masses, and then we operate in pride and fail. But that still doesn't necessarily negate the fact that we have this urge in our spirit to do it at this present time. So the last time that happened, the whole market crashed. So if there's some sort of inclination in there, if the market crashes again, then they're like, all you people who lost all your 401k, get your vaccine. Boomers, basically. Get your vaccine, get your chip, you'll get it all back. Everything's going to be great. All you college students, former college students with your $100,000 debt, all forgiven. Why wouldn't that person be the hero to everybody? To the liberals, the social justice warriors, and boomers alike. Millennials who got all the debt.
Well, that person would not be the hero of the Bears.
No. Well, there is. Jesus is the only hero of the Bears.
Well, yeah, but like the whole vibe of Beartaria and homesteading, being self-sufficient, honoring God with everything we do. Welcome, welcome, Newfoundland, Newfoundland Bear. Like the vibe of the Bears is, and like it's not just the Bears. There's tons of other communities that have similar vibes, that honor Christ, that want to crush, that grow their own food, that are self-sufficient, building local communities, etc., etc. Like there's tons of communities that do that. And so just because like worst case scenario things happen and the majority of the population goes into FEMA camps, that's what we're preparing for, is to not fall into that.
Right. I'm not worried about it, except for like the thing about the Bears is we're such a tiny, tiny, tiny percent of the population.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't want to be isolated.
Well, see, that's the beauty of like a beauty of our position is, according to the best economists, Bear Fam, welcome, welcome. According to the best economists, we still have just over a decade. And so given the momentum we already have, my best so obviously projections a decade out are not super accurate, but my projection a decade out, so like 2030, what's going to happen is Beartaria will not only be sufficiently established, but like we've seen with Beartaria Time, the Bear B&B, with a variety of different industries, the bear community is going to continue to expand. And the largest expansion the bear community is going to see is when shit hits the fan. When
True.
like the federal government just gets fucked. Because we will have been preparing for over a decade. Most of us, like for some pleb like me, I hope to buy some property next year, and then I'll be preparing for 9 years. But most bears are just fucking legends, and they've been already preparing for a long while. And so now that we're all unifying a singular community, that's only going to enhance our ability to provide for others. So when shit really hits the fan, like for example, my little sister, like super basic white girl city chick, but fast forward 10 years into the future, when I have a fully functioning homestead and a wife and et cetera, and shit hits the fan, my sister's be like, hey PJ, can I live in your extra house for like a little bit until we get back on our feet? Yeah, of course, little sister. It's just in the meantime, I'm going to teach you how to homestead.
Right? Yeah,
And
you're
that's
going to
going to
be
happen
helping
to
out on the
every single
farm
bear
there.
with so many of their families.
You're going to be
What's
helping on
up?
the farm. You're going to be labor.
Yeah, dude, exactly. And so this foundation that we're establishing as the bear community, it's only going to damn near exponentially increase. Breeder bear, welcome, welcome. And as that increase continues, the foundation is only becoming stronger. And we've got at least a decade until like shit really hits the fan. And once it does, like I said, the vast majority of our family members are either A, going to die, or B, going to be like, whoa, family member, brother, man, whatever, was right. Hey, brother, man, family member, whatever, let me live on your land. I need food. And you're like, oh, yeah, I've been canning food for years now. I could feed you for like a decade. No big deal. I got you. Like, letting you live in my extra cabin is no real struggle for me. And as you continue to live here, I'll teach you what the Lord has taught me over this past X amount of years.
That's good. Well, I'm going to get going because my battery's almost dead. My kid is making noises, and I don't want to disrupt your stream, let someone else come on. But, yeah, Beartaria, I guess, is crushing.
Meh. 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 Dude, your kid is adorable. It's hilarious. Farewell, little one.
All right.
All right, brother. Charge your phone. Get back on in a bit. Later, mate. And that, my friends, was the great Trainer Bear. He will be back. So what's going on, everybody? Any fun adventures to report? Any silly stories to tell? So as you guys are typing and considering what you're about to type, as I was canvassing today, Dan Barone, welcome, welcome, brother. As I was canvassing today, the specific neighborhood we were going through was like super conservative, super based. Last hour of work, Alair Bear, you're almost out of there. Like it was super based, super conservative neighborhood. My favorite moment of today was we were on the south side of the street, and there was this Filipino woman that was a caretaker, and she was all about Trump. Her husband, before he died, was a military member, like veteran. And then the other team on the north side of the street, you got food poisoning? How did you get food poisoning? Alair Bear, tell us the story. And also, feel free to fucking jump on, dude. Like, you've never been on the stream, Alair Bear. Feel free to jump on. And so the team on the north side of the street, they had this super dope house, a crazy awesome like bridge, it was a dope house. Like every single one of these houses was on a minimum of 2 acres. Like most of these houses were like 3 to 4 acres. It was so much fun just to walk through this neighborhood and just like, that's such a cool house. Look at all that land they have. Oh, yeah, duh, you just told me that. My bad. Anyways, so the highlight of my day was when we were on the south side of the street talking to this Filipino chick, and then the other team was on the north side. Like, they had this super dope house, and just like halfway through the conversation, the north side neighbors were yelling out to the south side neighbors. They were just started talking shit to each other, like, "You won't put a Trump sign in your yard? I dare you!" And like they were just talking shit to each other. It was hilarious. So they ended up both putting a bunch of Trump signs all over their houses. And then the north side neighbors, It was one old dude, like old, like boomer, but he was super based. And then it was like two guys that were about like 30s, like late 20s, early 30s. And as they walked out, like they had multiple guns each, and they just like walked across the street to the other side. And like, hey, guys, like look at this gun we just built. And it was so awesome. And we spent like half an hour just talking about guns and shit. It was awesome. And then like the whole time that we were canvassing, because these properties were so big, the one of the members of our team had a golf cart, and so everyone else was like in like the seats in the golf cart, but there wasn't enough room. So like in the space of the golf cart where you normally like strap your golf bags in, I got to stand on the back and just held in, and I felt really awesome because standing on the back of a golf cart is way better than sitting in one. Good question, Newfoundland Bear. In the cafeteria where you work, are they all wearing masks? Oh, and you got food poisoning at the cafeteria you work? That's a buzzkill. Extra olive oil bear. Welcome, welcome. Extra olive oil bear. Do you produce your own olive oil? Because if you do, I would like to purchase some. One can never have too much olive oil. Yeah, Newfoundland Bear, exactly. Like all sorts of non-logical behavior. Non-logical? Illogical. Illogical is the proper word. I misspoke. I apologize. Yeah, Larry Bear, your aunt was definitely right. Well, Newfoundland Bear, obviously getting food poisoning is never a fun thing. And the tummy is especially a large victim of getting food poisoning. Oh, bummer, Lair Bear. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, fortunately, though, that food poisoning doesn't last that long. Generally, 24 to 48 hours at tops, depending on, well, it could be as low as 12 hours, depending on how much you ingested, etc., etc. So I was listening to I don't remember who he is. See if I can find him real quick. But I was listening to someone that Owen has previously endorsed, or not necessarily endorsed, but he was like, hey, this is a good source of gravy at one point. Mud Fossil University. So Mud Fossil University, I was listening to one of their streams today, and they were talking about like not only the specific amount of electrons required to produce a proton and or a neutron, 1872 to produce electron, or no, to produce a 1872 electrons to produce a proton, 1873 electrons to produce a neutron. And the reason why I find that really interesting is because like the way he was going about it was that not only like the vastest, like because of the specific number of electrons that are required to produce either a neutrons or protons, like the vast disparity allows for all the isotopes, etc., etc. But he also went a little bit deeper into how bacteria and enzymes interact to produce various other substances. And I found that really interesting because it kind of just, he was using germ theory to describe aspects of terrain theory. And it's interesting because Mud Fossil University is, like, he subscribes to germ theory as far as I know. But the way he was describing things, Sydney Bear, welcome, welcome. The way he was describing things, it was like he was trying to validate germ theory, but everything he was saying was validating terrain theory, and he was unable to understand what he was saying. I found it drastically interesting because Mud Fossil University is a retired chemist and like knows so much about this stuff, like way smarter than I am with chemistry, and yet his hypotheses, because they were based on germ theory versus terrain theory, they were entirely incorrect. And I don't really know what that means. I found it very interesting. I'm really just kind of talking right now because I'm waiting for you guys to contribute more to the stream. Maybe one of you guys wants to jump on and share some gravy, share some fun adventures or exploits of what you've been doing lately. Yeah. Because even though I have the ability to just kind of randomly rant on just nonsense forever and fucking ever, my main purpose for this stream is to talk to the bears and learn from you guys and share knowledge, share experiences, because that's what makes things so much fun. Like, yeah, bears get to the base of knowledge. Exactly, Handy Adam. Yeah, Lair Bear, no pressure. You already told us. You're at work. No worries. So the onus of responsibility right now is obviously primarily on me because I'm the host. But after me is all the other bears that are not at work right now. Start clean with the electromagnetic universe. Yep, that's an accurate statement. I concur. Al Om Paloma. Am Ol Paloma. Welcome. I feel like I need to give you a nickname because that's a very difficult thing to say. I'm just going to call you Paloma. Welcome, Paloma. And so, like, obviously, the second honest responsibility is you guys who are not at work, because even though I have the ability to just talk and just rant and just say shit all day long, I would much prefer to talk with you guys. Let's just look at how awesome yesterday's stream with Bajo Bear was. That was epic. And I could have done that on my own. I mean, yeah, it kind of helps that when I was bored on the way to volunteering today, I just something that I found interesting was to learn about the history of the warfare between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. I get that. It's a Spanish palindrome. Donald, glad you're laughing. Glad you're loving it. All right, Palermo. My dad's side of the family, like my great grandpa, or my dad's great grandpa, I don't know. One of those ancient ancestors on my dad's side was literally the ambassador from Spain to Mexico. He married the beauty queen, and then fast forward 100 years, surprise, here I am. So that being said, I have a biological history with the whole Spanish side and shit. But if you could expand on this Spanish palindrome that describes your name, I would greatly appreciate it, because right now I feel like you have an intelligent reason for your screen name, and I'm just being a retard. So if you could teach me on that, I would definitely be thankful. Amol Polama. Donald, I appreciate your attempt. And what you were just attempting to do is what I initially attempted, but then Palermo corrected me, and he or she was like, no, dude, it's a fucking Spanish palindrome. Are you a retard? I obviously added some subtext there. And so, because he or she, Palermo, or whatever the hell his name is, was like, oh, hey, no, it's just a Spanish palindrome. Now I'm curious. What is the meaning? What is like, give me greater context because now I will learn. And that's the great thing about like being a human. If you're not a prideful piece of shit, you get to constantly humble yourself and constantly learn. And that's like so much fun. Oh, no fucking shit. Oh, I feel like such a retard. Now that you told me what a palindrome is, I was like, oh yeah, duh. Ah, don't you guys hate it when that happens? When like you know something and someone's like, the sky is blue? 1 plus 1 equals 2? And you're like, oh, no fucking shit, I'm an asshole. Thank you, Paloma. Yeah, and obviously, Donald, you're right on that race car. I love the dove. That's what I was curious about. So it's a palindrome in Spanish, but when you translate it to English, it means I love the dove. It's like Bob. Yes, Newfoundland Bear. The most basic palindrome in the world is the name Bob. I don't speak that much Spanish. I took several years in middle school, high school, and college, but I've also attempted to use like Duolingo and like those others like various things like apps and like I've bought like courses like CD courses and stuff, but I've just never pursued it properly. I've always found it fascinating concept to learn Spanish, but I've never really applied myself to it as fully as I should. Facetious is the only word A-E-I-O-U in order. Interesting. Especially considering the definition of facetious. I wonder what the synchronicity there is. I know there's something. Yeah, definitely, dude. Like, or Dudette, your name's hilarious, and like it actually has significant meaning. So it was wonderful to discuss that. But have a wonderful evening, sweet dreams, good night, all that jazz, blah blah blah, etc. Goods delivered on ship is cargo, and on a car shipment. Yes, Strana Bear. Thank you. It's not a palindrome though. It's just like what's the specific definition of that? One thing mean one thing, one. I don't know, but I feel like as though there's a specific term for what you just described, Trainer Bear. Yeah, for sure, Paloma or Paloma. Yeah, Paloma, because you're from Spain, so Paloma. That's what I'm calling you, Paloma. Have a great night. All right, guys, we've got 6 minutes left in this first half. So why do we park in the driveway for driving up Parkway? Trainer Bear, you've started a trend. How dare you? All right, guys, we've got 6 minutes left in this first half. So, so this football coach has been hitting me hardcore. I'm cleaning his desk, and he has an anniversary card from another chick. A Lair Bear, the obvious move is to not allow the football coach to hit on you. Right? Other Bears? Opinions? Because a Lair Bear, my guess is there's only 2 reasons why you would bring this up. One is the much less likely, but it makes you feel uncomfortable. But the 2 is much more likely is that you feel validated in some way, shape, or form. Oh, so it's uncomfortable. I was right. The much less likely option. He's black. You didn't give us enough context. If you told us he was white, oh, Handy Adam Bear. Welcome, welcome. The coach is a squirt boy. Why do you run on a plane but fly on a plane?
Hey.
Trainer Bear, you've started an epidemic of a theme. Handy Adam, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. Can you see our set? We're getting it ready for the next play. I don't know if you can see that.
Say again?
The next big performance. Next big performance will be the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe redo. Say hi. This is JapJap. He is Japanese, if you please. He's Japanese, if you don't, please.
Hello.
But I got to show this off. Can you see my shirt? Can you see it?
What is that?
Here, hold the phone so they can see it.
I see your tunic. I'm not quite sure of the meaning of your tunic, however.
I don't know if it's in the dark here. It's a flat Earth, like realm looking thing with an ice wall. My wife made it. She's mocking me.
Your wife made that?
I love it. Yeah, she's mocking me, but I love it.
Wife of Handy Adam Bear. Mad props. That is brilliant.
Yeah. Look at that. It's got the ice wall on the top. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
It's got Sheol.
That's wonderful, dude.
Cool. She made herself a globe one.
Your wife made that?
Yeah, and she made a globe one for her.
No way. So that's hilarious.
I'm like, oh, this is funny. She was thinking I was going to be mad about it. And I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, this is so good. She's mocking me, of course, but I don't care. I mean, what am I going to care?
Dude, let her mock you for flat Earth. James Excel, welcome, welcome. Let her mock you for flat Earth all you want. She literally made you a fucking flat Earth sweater. That's legendary, bro.
This is great.
Oh, yeah. Trainer Bear, agreed. Handy Adams Bear's wife is straight trolling. But she's doing it in the most lovingly way possible.
Making me warm with her troll. I'll take that. Oh, it's so funny.
So, did she make the whole sweater, or just like embroider the flat Earth on top? She
probably just went to Goodwill and bought this sweater, and then just sewed. This is fabric, you know. It's like fabric with stitching on the outside. So, wow, dude, I can't believe. Look at that. She's just like, it's like amazing.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome.
I can't believe.
There's so much detail in that. Like, mad props to your wife, dude.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And it's also like Narnia too, which is cool because Narnia, the lands of Narnia. Oh, and if you take C.S. Lewis's map and J.R.R. Tolkien's map and flip them upside down, they match. They're like, well, like, you know, it's like the full context. But the more I learn about our reality, I'm like, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, they had some inside knowledge, you know. They didn't just make that shit up, you know.
Well, yeah, like there was a stream that I listened to recently. It was do you remember when? Oh shit, we got 30 seconds left. Back. Handy Adam Bear. Yes, come right back. We got 20 seconds left. Handy Adam Bear, you got priority. We'll be right back, everybody.